MDOT District 1's Branch Director 2, Mitch Caver, on the next episode of People of MDOT. Mitch Caver works at the Tupelo District Office, where he keeps up with all of the right-of-way in District 1. In his spare time, Mitch enjoys doing research on the Chickasaw Indians, who at one time populated the entire northeastern region of Mississippi.
When I was a kid, I went with a friend of mine and his grandparents out here to a local farm, and his grandmother told me that Chief Tishomingo lived out there, and it always, perked my interest as a kid because I like history. And when I became an adult, I found out that her stories were true, and so I helped the Chickasaws reconnect to their to Chief Tishomingo's home site, which is just about 3 miles from where I live. Anita Cole is an artist from Boonville, Mississippi, and I had asked her if she would paint a painting of Chief Tishomingo that incorporated some of the facts that I had found through the years of my research. There's a Chickasaw horse in it, which it's the ancestor of the quarter horse. It also has the white dog, which is the Chickasaws would immediately identify with because it is a legendary white dog that is supposed to have led the tribe from the west to Mississippi. He was assistant to the chief. Ishtahotepa was their king. Tishomingo was an assistant to him that advised him on matters of state, in dealing with other tribes and dealing with the Americans or Spanish or whoever they were dealing with. The painting, he looks back to the west towards Oklahoma, and I just wanted to incorporate his homestead, so the backdrop of the painting is from where his home was located here, west of Baldwin. Tishomingo was a veteran of the War of 1812, where the Chickasaws supported the American government and went to Alabama to fight the hostile Creeks. And in reading history, I found out that Davy Crockett had joined the Chickasaws and the Choctaws and had gone there. So, his service to not only the Chickasaws was to the Americans in the 39th U.S. Infantry during the War of 1812. The research that I was doing with this, I would talk to the director of the Final Stands Interpretive Center in Baldwin, which is basically a Civil War museum. And she had, over the course of a few years, wanted to establish a scenic byway through MDOT to the Civil War site. So I asked her one day, I said, if I could get the Chickasaws to support it, would you include Chief Tishomingo's home site because it's within 2 miles of the battlefield? She said, sure. So we got their official endorsement, and me and her both were able to get the designation of the Battle of Bryce's Crossroads, Chief Tishomingo's Scenic Byway established, and the Chickasaw Nation now has a display to Chief Tishomingo at their museum.
In 1830, President Andrew Jackson pushed new legislation called the Indian Removal Act, which later came to be known as the Trail of Tears. This involved the removal of 5 Indian tribes located in the southeastern United States. These tribes included the Chickasaw, Choctaw, Cherokee, Muskogee, and the Seminole.
The Trail of Tears was a forced removal. They really did not want to move from northeast Mississippi to south central Oklahoma. And it was called Indian Territory up until Oklahoma became a state. In 2009, the Chickasaw Nation came here as a result of me reconnecting them with the area of Tishomingo's homestead and placed a monument there. And the Chickasaws came and they did a stomp dance, the first one in 170 years. So when the Chickasaw elders come here to visit their old home sites, and they would go by there and get to see the marker and get to, reconnect to some of their ancestral lands.
MDOT District 1's Branch Director 2, Mitch Caver, on People of MDOT.